Welcome to my channel. Honestly, let me ask you something simple, and please think about it for a moment. Do you want to speak English, but every day you feel confused about how to practice? You watch videos, you read advice, you hear people say practice every day, but no one really tells you what that means in real life. And maybe you think, I'm busy, I'm tired, and I don't live in an English-speaking country. Maybe English is not for me. Well, pause for a second. Because here's the truth, and it might surprise you. You don't need talent. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need hours of study. You don't even need confidence at the beginning. What you need is a simple daily system. Small steps. Very small steps that actually work. And guess what? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to practice English every single day in a calm, easy, human way. No pressure, no fear, no confusion. So stay with me till the end, because this can quietly change how you learn English forever. Chapter 1. Why everyday practice matters more than talent or grammar. Let's start very gently here, because this is where many English learners feel confused, tired, or even a little disappointed. And honestly, if you feel that way, you're not alone. I've been teaching English for more than 25 years, and I can tell you this with full confidence. Most learners don't fail because they are bad at English. They don't fail because they are not smart. They don't fail because English is too hard. They fail because they believe the wrong things about how learning really works. You see, many people believe that English improves when you study hard, when you memorize grammar rules, or when you sit for long hours with books. And yes, those things can help a little. But they are not the main reason people become fluent. The real reason, and this is very important, is everyday practice. Small, simple, daily practice. Now pause here for a moment, because this idea changes everything. Think about your own life. How did you learn to use your phone? Did you read a big manual? Probably not. You touched it every day. You made mistakes. You pressed the wrong buttons. You learned slowly, without pressure. English works the same way. Your brain learns through repetition, not pressure. Through frequency, not force. Many learners tell me, I study English for 2 hours on Sunday. And I smile and say, that's nice. But what about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Because your brain doesn't change in one day. It changes little by little, quietly, slowly, almost secretly. You don't feel it happening. And that's why people get frustrated. They say, I practiced yesterday, but I'm not fluent today. And honestly, that's not how the brain works. Let me explain this very simply. Your brain is like a path in a field. The first time you walk on it, the grass is tall. It's hard. It feels uncomfortable. But every day you walk the same path, the grass goes down. The path becomes clear. Walking becomes easy. English is that path. Every time you listen, speak, read, or think in English, even for 5 minutes, you walk that path again. And one day, you don't struggle anymore. You just walk. Now here's a very important truth. You may not feel progress every day. And that's okay. In fact, that's normal. Progress in language is quiet. It's invisible at first. One day, suddenly, you understand a sentence without translating. One day, suddenly, you speak faster. One day, suddenly, you don't panic when someone talks to you in English, and you think, oh, wow, when did this happen? It happened because of small daily practice. And let me tell you something very honest. Talent is overrated. I've seen students with perfect talent quit. And I've seen shy, slow, scared learners become confident speakers. Why? Because they practiced a little every day, even on bad days, even when they were tired, even when they didn't feel motivated. Motivation is nice, but it comes and goes. Some days you feel excited, some days you don't. But habits stay. And daily English practice is a habit, not a feeling. Another big misunderstanding is grammar. Oh, grammar. So many learners are afraid of grammar, or obsessed with grammar. They think, if my grammar is not perfect, I cannot speak. That belief is very dangerous, because grammar improves after exposure, not before. Children don't learn grammar rules. They listen, they copy, they repeat. Grammar slowly organizes itself in the brain. So if you are waiting to speak until your grammar is perfect, you will wait forever. Speak first. Practice first. Grammar will follow. Let me say this very clearly because you need to hear it. Mistakes are not failure. Mistakes are proof that your brain is learning. When you make a mistake, your brain says, something is happening here. That's growth. Silence is more dangerous than mistakes. Silence means no practice. And here's another truth that surprises many learners. Short practice is powerful. 10 minutes every day is better than 2 hours once a week. Why? Because the brain remembers what it sees often. Frequency builds familiarity. Familiarity builds confidence. You don't need to change your whole life. You don't need to become a different person. You just need to invite English into your life. A little every day. Maybe today you listen for 5 minutes. Tomorrow you repeat 2 sentences. The next day you think 1 thought in English. That's enough. That's more than enough. And if you ever feel slow, or stuck, or disappointed, pause. Take a breath. And remember this. Learning English is not a race. It's a relationship. And relationships grow through small daily moments. Now that you understand why everyday practice matters, not talent, not grammar, not long study hours, let's move forward. Because the next question is very natural. How do you practice English every day without stress, without fear, and without confusion? Let's talk about that next. Chapter 2. Listening every day. The quiet power behind confident speaking. Okay, take a slow breath with me here, because this chapter is very important. In fact, if you understand this part deeply, many of your fears about speaking English will start to fade. Not all at once, but gently, naturally, over time. Let me say something that might surprise you. Speaking does not come first. Listening comes first. Always. Think about a baby. A baby listens for months before saying even one word. No grammar book, no pressure, just listening, sounds, rhythm, music of the language. English learners are not very different. Your brain needs to hear English again and again before it feels safe to speak it. Many learners want to speak fast. I understand that. Honestly, I really do. But when listening is weak, speaking feels scary. You search for words. You panic. Your mind goes blank. And then you think, something is wrong with me. But nothing is wrong with you. Your listening foundation just needs time. Listening is like filling a glass with water. You don't see the level rising at first, but suddenly one day the glass is full, and speaking begins to flow. Now let me remove another big fear right now. You do not need to understand everything you hear. Please remember this. Understanding 100% is not the goal. Exposure is the goal. Your brain is smarter than you think. It learns patterns. It learns rhythm. It learns common words, even when you don't realize it. Sometimes students say, I listened, but I didn't understand much. And I smile and say, good. That means your brain was working. Confusion is not failure. Confusion is the beginning of learning. So how do you listen every day without stress? Very simply. You make English part of your daily environment. You listen when you wake up. You listen while walking. You listen while cooking. You listen while resting. English becomes background music in your life. Not something heavy, not something serious, just present. Podcasts like this one are perfect. Slow, clear, friendly English. You can also listen to English songs. You can watch short YouTube videos. You can listen to stories made for learners, news for beginners. Anything that feels comfortable, anything that does not scare you away. And here's a small but powerful tip. Listen to the same audio again and again. Repetition is magic. The first time, everything feels fast. The second time, you recognize some words. The third time, your brain relaxes. The fourth time, wow, you feel familiar. That feeling of familiarity is confidence. Now, let me tell you something very important. Listening is not a test. You don't need to stop and translate. You don't need to write notes. You don't need to pause every sentence. Just listen. Let the sound wash over you. Let English live in your ears. If you understand 30%, that's good. If you understand 50%, that's great. If you understand 70%, amazing. But even 30% is progress. Here's a moment many learners remember. One day, you hear a sentence and you don't translate it. You just understand it. And you stop and think, wait, did I just understand English? Yes. Yes, you did. And that moment comes from listening. Daily listening. Now let's talk about pronunciation, because listening helps here too. When you listen often, your brain learns how words sound together, not single words. Real speech, connected speech. English is not spoken word by word. It flows. Listening trains your ear to hear that flow, and later, your mouth follows. This is why reading alone is not enough. Reading is good, but English is a sound language. You must hear it. So let me give you a simple daily listening plan. No pressure, no stress. 5 to 10 minutes in the morning, 5 to 10 minutes in the evening. That's it. That's already powerful. Choose one voice you like, one speaker, one channel. Your brain likes consistency. A familiar voice feels safe. When your brain feels safe, it learns faster. And on days when you are tired, listen anyway, even quietly, even passively, even if you feel lazy. Listening still works. Now here's the beautiful part. When listening becomes a habit, something changes. English stops feeling foreign. It stops feeling like a school subject. It starts feeling familiar, friendly, normal. And when English feels normal, speaking stops being scary. So remember this. You are not bad at speaking. You are just building your listening muscles. And muscles grow with daily use. Now that you understand the quiet power of listening every day, there's a natural next step, a gentle one, no pressure. It's time to use your voice, slowly, safely, and confidently. Let's talk about that next. Chapter 3, Speaking Without Fear, How to Use Your Voice Gently, Every Day. All right, this is the chapter many learners wait for, and also the chapter many learners fear. So let me say this slowly, clearly, and honestly. Speaking English does not have to be scary. It only feels scary because we have been taught to treat speaking like a test. But speaking is not a test. It is a skill. And skills grow through use, not perfection. If listening is the foundation, then speaking is the natural next step. Not big speaking, not public speaking, just small, daily speaking, safe speaking, private speaking, speaking that belongs to you. Now pause here for a moment, because I want you to release something. Release the idea that you must speak perfectly. You don't. You really don't. In fact, waiting for perfect English is the fastest way to never speak at all. Let me tell you something from my 25 years of teaching. Every confident speaker you hear today, every single one, once spoke badly, slowly, with mistakes, with fear. The difference is not talent. The difference is practice. So how do we practice speaking without fear? We start with shadowing. Shadowing is one of the most powerful and gentle speaking techniques, and it's very simple. You listen to a short sentence, and you repeat it immediately. You don't stop. You don't translate. You don't think too much. You just copy the sound. Like a shadow follows a person. For example, I say, I want to improve my English. You repeat it. I want to improve my English. That's it. Simple, powerful. Shadowing teaches your mouth how English feels. It teaches rhythm, speed, melody. And guess what? Your brain loves copying. Copying feels safe. There is no pressure to create your own sentence. You are not alone. You are following. At first, it may feel strange. Your tongue may feel tired. You may miss words. That's okay. That's normal. That's learning. And here's the magic. You don't need to understand every word to shadow. Understanding comes later. First, you train your mouth. Now let's talk about repetition. Repetition is not boring. Repetition is training. Athletes repeat movements. Musicians repeat notes. Language learners repeat sentences. Choose one short sentence. Repeat it 5 times. Then repeat it again tomorrow. This builds confidence without stress. Now here comes something very important: talking to yourself. Many learners feel shy about this. They think it's strange. But honestly, talking to yourself is one of the smartest learning habits. You don't need a partner. You don't need permission. You don't need courage. You just speak. You can speak in the shower. You can speak while walking. You can speak quietly in your room. Talk about simple things, your day, your plans, your feelings. Today was busy. I feel tired. I want to relax. Simple sentences, real-life sentences. And guess what? Your brain listens to your voice. When you speak, you are both the speaker and the listener. That doubles the learning. Now let me say something important here. Many learners worry about making mistakes when speaking, and that worry stops them. So listen carefully. Mistakes are not dangerous. Silence is. When you make a mistake, your brain notices it. When you never speak, your brain has nothing to notice. No correction, no growth. You don't learn by being silent. You learn by trying. And here's another comforting truth. No one is judging you as much as you think. Most people are busy thinking about themselves, and when you practice alone, no one is judging at all. So create a safe speaking space. Your room, your phone, your notebook, your voice. One beautiful habit I recommend is recording your voice. Just 1 minute. At the end of the day. Talk about your day. Don't prepare. Just speak. When you listen back, you will notice things. Your pronunciation, your rhythm, your confidence. And slowly, you will hear improvement. That moment, when you hear yourself improve, is very powerful. Now let's talk about speed. Many learners worry they speak slowly. That's okay. Slow is good. Slow means control. Speed comes naturally with repetition. Fluency is not speed. Fluency is comfort. When you feel comfortable, speed follows. So don't rush. Don't push. Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to yesterday. And here's a small emotional truth. Some days speaking feels easy. Some days it feels hard. Both days count. If today you speak 1 sentence, that counts. If today you repeat 1 word, that counts. Consistency matters more than confidence. Now let me gently prepare you for the next step. When you listen often and speak gently, something interesting happens. English starts appearing in your mind naturally. You start thinking small thoughts in English, and that is where real fluency begins. Let's talk about thinking in English next. Chapter 4. Thinking in English. Training your mind, one small thought at a time. Now, let's slow down a little here, because this chapter is quiet but very powerful. It doesn't look dramatic from the outside. No big action, no loud speaking, but inside your mind, something very important begins to change. This is where English starts to feel less like a foreign language and more like a part of you. Many learners ask me, when will I stop translating in my head? And my answer is always the same. You stop translating when you start thinking in English. Not perfectly, Not all the time, just a little every day. And let me be very clear. Thinking in English is not something you force. You don't sit down and say, "Okay, now I will think in English for 1 hour." No, that will only create stress. Thinking in English grows naturally when you give it space. Let me explain it in a very simple way. Your brain likes shortcuts. When you translate from your native language to English, your brain takes a long road. It thinks in your language first, then it translates, then it speaks. That takes time. That creates fear. That causes pauses. But when you think directly in English, your brain takes a short road. Direct connection. No translation. No waiting. And here's the good news. You don't need big sentences to start. Big sentences come later. Right now, we start with tiny thoughts. Very tiny. When you wake up, you don't need a long sentence. Just think. It's morning. I'm sleepy. That's it. When you walk outside, it's cold. The sky is blue. Simple. Honest. Real. When you eat, I'm hungry. This tastes good. These thoughts already exist in your mind. You are just changing the language. That's all. Now, many learners feel frustrated because their thoughts in English are very basic, and they think, this is not real English. But listen carefully. Basic English is real English. Communication is not about complexity. It's about clarity. Every fluent speaker started with simple thoughts. Every single one. So don't judge your English thoughts. Accept them. Now here's something very interesting. At first, your English thoughts may feel slow. That's normal. You may think one sentence and then stop. That's okay. One thought is enough. Tomorrow, 2 thoughts. Next week, a short idea. Thinking in English is like planting seeds. You don't see results immediately, but under the surface, roots are growing. Another powerful step is thinking out loud. Not loudly, not publicly, just softly, whispering, speaking quietly. For example, when you are alone, you can say, I need to work. I want coffee. I feel tired today. This connects thinking and speaking. It removes the gap between mind and mouth. And let me tell you something comforting. This habit feels strange at first. You might feel silly. That's okay. New habits always feel strange before they feel normal. Now let's talk about replacing translation gently. You don't fight translation, you replace it. When a simple idea comes, don't translate. Don't rush. Just pause and ask yourself, can I say this in simple English? If yes, say it. If no, that's okay. Skip it. No stress. Over time, your brain starts choosing English automatically. Not because you forced it, but because you practiced it gently. Here's a beautiful moment many learners experience. One day you feel an emotion, happy, tired, annoyed, and the English word appears in your mind first. You stop and think, oh, that was English. That moment is very special. That is progress. And here's another secret. Thinking in English builds confidence without pressure. When your mind gets used to English, speaking feels less scary. You are not searching for words anymore. They are already there. Now let me give you a simple daily thinking routine. Very simple. Morning, one English thought. Afternoon, one English thought. Evening, one English thought. That's it. You don't need more. And on days when you forget, don't feel guilty. Guilt stops learning. Just continue the next day. Now let me say something very important. Thinking in English is not about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about inviting English into your inner world. When English lives in your mind, it starts feeling familiar, and familiarity creates comfort. Comfort creates fluency. And now, something beautiful happens. English is no longer something you study. It becomes something you use. Naturally, quietly, daily. In the next chapter, we will take this even further. We will turn your daily life into English practice, your phone, your routine, your habits. And this is where English truly becomes part of who you are. Chapter 5. Living with English. Turning your daily life into practice. Now, this is the chapter where everything comes together, because up to this point you've learned something very important. English does not grow only in books. It does not grow only in classrooms. It grows where you live, in your routine, in your habits, in the small things you already do every day. Many learners think, I don't have time to practice English. But when I hear that, I gently smile. Because time is not really the problem. The real problem is that English is still separate from life. And today, we remove that separation. Let me say this clearly. If English lives outside your life, progress feels slow. But when English lives inside your life, progress feels natural. So let's talk about how to live with English, without stress, without pressure, and without changing your whole schedule. Let's start with something you already use every day, your phone. Your phone is a powerful learning tool. You look at it many times a day, so why not let it help you? One simple step is to change your phone language to English. At first, it feels strange. You see words like settings, notifications, storage, update available. But after a few days, those words feel normal. You don't study them. You just see them. Again and again. This is called passive learning. And passive learning is very powerful. Your brain learns without effort, without stress, without thinking, I am studying. Now let's move to another beautiful habit, writing a very short daily diary. And please listen carefully here. This is not about writing perfect English. This is about expressing real life in simple words. Every night, write 3 sentences. Only 3. Today I worked. I felt tired. I watched an English video. That's it. No pressure, no dictionary, no grammar book, just your life in English. When you do this daily, something changes. You start recognizing patterns. You start repeating useful words. Your sentences become smoother. And most importantly, English becomes personal. It becomes your language. Now let's talk about one of my favorite habits, recording your voice. This habit is powerful because it combines speaking, listening, and reflection. At the end of the day, Open your phone. Record 1 minute. Talk about your day, your plans, your feelings. Today was busy. I had a lot of work. I want to relax tomorrow. When you listen back, you may notice mistakes. That's okay. That's learning. You may also notice improvement. And that feeling builds confidence like nothing else. Another beautiful part of this habit is that it shows you progress over time. 1 month later, you listen again, and you think, wow, I'm better now. That moment is very motivating. Now let's talk about connection, because language is connection. You don't need to live in an English-speaking country to connect. The internet is full of opportunities. You can join English learner groups, WhatsApp groups, Telegram channels, Facebook communities, language exchange apps. You don't need to speak perfectly. You can write 1 sentence. You can send 1 voice note. You can react to someone else's message. Even reading messages helps. You see how real people use English. You learn naturally. And here's something very important. Don't wait to feel ready. Readiness comes after action, not before. Now let's talk about short videos. Because yes, entertainment can be education. Short English videos on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok are great for daily practice. Choose topics you like: travel, food, motivation, daily life. Watch the same video more than once. First, just watch. Second, listen carefully. Third, repeat some sentences. This kind of practice is light, fun, enjoyable. And when learning is enjoyable, consistency becomes easy. Now let me tell you something very important. English should not feel heavy. If it feels heavy, something is wrong. Learning works best when it feels light. So turn small moments into English moments. Write your to-do list in English. Say good morning in English. Name objects around you in English. Small changes, big results. You don't need to do everything. Just choose 2 or 3 habits. Stick to them. Repeat them daily. And remember, living with English means English becomes part of your identity, not a subject, not a problem, just a tool. In the next chapter, we'll talk about the most important thing of all, staying consistent, even when motivation disappears, because that is the real secret to fluency. Chapter 6. Staying consistent, the real secret to fluency. Now, take a deep breath, because this chapter is not about learning more. It's about staying on the path, staying with English even when the excitement is gone, even when progress feels slow, even when life feels heavy. And let me be very honest with you here. Consistency is not about being strong. It's about being kind to yourself. Many learners start with energy. New notebook, new app, new motivation. The first week feels good. The second week is okay. And then life happens. Work, family, stress, tiredness. And slowly, English disappears. If that has happened to you before, pause. You didn't fail. You just didn't have a system. Consistency doesn't come from motivation. Motivation is emotional. It goes up and down. Consistency comes from small habits that fit into your real life. So let's talk about what consistency really means. Consistency does not mean practicing 1 hour every day. Consistency means touching English every day, even for 1 minute. 1 minute counts. 5 minutes counts. 10 minutes counts. Your brain doesn't measure time the way you do. It measures frequency. Now here's something very important. Bad days still count. On bad days, you may feel tired, unfocused, lazy. On those days, don't quit. Just do the smallest thing possible. Listen to one sentence, say one word, think one thought in English. That is still practice. And something beautiful happens when you practice on bad days. You build identity. You become someone who practices English no matter what. And that identity is powerful. Now let's talk about expectations, because expectations can quietly destroy consistency. Many learners expect fast results. They want to speak fluently in weeks. When that doesn't happen, they feel disappointed. And disappointment kills motivation. So change the goal. Don't aim for fluency. Aim for familiarity. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for comfort. Comfort comes first. Fluency follows. Another powerful habit is tracking progress emotionally, not academically. Instead of asking, "Is my grammar perfect?" ask, "Do I feel less afraid?" Instead of asking, "Do I know more words?" ask, "Do I understand more than before?" These small emotional changes matter. Now let me say something important. Compare yourself only to your past self, not to YouTubers, not to native speakers, not to other learners. Comparison creates pressure. Pressure kills consistency. Your journey is your journey. Now let's talk about routine, because routine creates safety. Choose a time of day, morning, evening, before sleep, after waking up, and connect English to that moment. For example, after brushing teeth, listen to English. Before sleep, think in English. During a walk, repeat sentences. When English is attached to a routine, it becomes automatic. You don't think, you just do. Now here's a quiet but powerful truth. Consistency changes how you see yourself. One day, you stop saying, "I am learning English." You start saying, "I use English." That shift is huge. You stop waiting to be ready. You stop waiting for confidence. You act first. Confidence follows. And let me tell you something emotional here. One day, someone will speak to you in English, and you will respond without panic, without fear. Maybe not perfectly, but naturally. And in that moment, you will remember these small daily habits, these quiet minutes, these gentle steps. That's fluency, not loud, not dramatic, just calm confidence. So if you remember only one thing from this entire video, remember this: small daily practice changes everything. You don't need more time. You don't need more talent. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay. Stay with English. Stay patient. Stay kind to yourself. And before we finish, let me say this to you. You are already doing something right. You're here. You're listening. You're learning. That matters. Now, if this video helped you, even a little, I invite you to take one simple step. Subscribe to this channel so we can learn together, step by step, day by day. Like this video if it gave you clarity or comfort, and comment below. What is one small English habit you will start today? I read your comments. I really do, and we grow together here. Thank you for staying till the end. Now, go and practice one small thing in English today.